Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with Donald Wills. Say hi, Donald.
What's up?
What's up? And we are back with another film discussion where we are discussing the Triple X trilogy franchise plus one short and a director's cut. And it was difficult for me to find stuff on this because when I typed in XXX, it just brought up porn. That's all it did. It just brought up a
Pretty
lot
much.
of
Pretty much.
porn. Yeah, so might have not been the best title for them to use. But so first off, have you seen any of these movies before? Is this your first watch?
I have the only thing I've seen was the Rammstein music video, which had the clips from the first movie. That was the only thing I knew about Triple X. I think I've seen bits and pieces of the second movie, but I think I was like at someone's house and they had it on. I just seen like a couple of scenes and I just wasn't paying attention. So but as far as it goes, this is my first time watching all three of them from beginning to end, including the short.
Okay. Have you wanted to watch them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought they were something different for some reason. I'm gonna take these off because that look ridiculous. But I for some reason I thought they were post-apocalyptic movies for some reason.
Oh,
Maybe because of the Ramstein, whatever you want to call them, video. So for Our Fury or whatever it's called.
okay. Yeah, so you had no idea that there were kind of like James Bondy type stuff in
No,
them.
no. When I watched it, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, okay, not at all what I thought it was going to be.
As you were letting people know your how you found out about Triple X, I was looking up Triple X trilogy poster just so I could put up a poster of all three posters. Nope, porn, endless porn. And Google's even saying click on this because you're about to watch pornography. So I could not quickly find just one picture of all three posters together. So, but
Yeah.
so we are talking about the first one, the very first Triple X first. And as you
Yeah.
can see down there, it is XXX. So that does give some problems when
Not
looking
porn.
things up. Not porn, but if you notice, the woman that is standing right behind Vin Diesel or Xander Cage is Asia Argento. That is director Dario Argento's daughter, who is absolutely gorgeous in this movie. If you
I
feel that
did
she
not
is
know that.
absolutely gorgeous, she is pure Italian. Just type in Asia Argento naked, and you will not be disappointed. So she has done many full frontal nude photo shoots. And so speaking of porn, you can look at those if you Google them. It doesn't even come up saying you're about to watch pornography or anything. It's just boom, her pictures pop up. So I will not be posting any of them here because YouTube is a
YouTube will
prude.
cancel us.
Yes. So, but this is the poster for the very first film. And so, what were your overall thoughts on the first movie? It did come out in 2002, so August 9th, 2002. What were your thoughts on the first movie?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was a action-packed film. It was um obviously I don't know. Is this early Vin Diesel because he felt a little cringy at times. I mean, it was like one of his like earlier acting roles.
Let me, you know what, I'm gonna click on it here because uh so I have okay, so if we're looking at, when is it? Okay, so there's The Return. Riddick. Where's the first one? So, okay, there it is. I want to go up just a little bit to see what he did before it. Okay, there, perfect. Okay, so I have a story, which is I went to the Sundance Film Festival in 2002, and and I went with my some of the people from my film class from College of Marin, and the guys hung out with the guys, the girls hung out with the girls. A lot of the girls were underage, so they couldn't drink. So it was like, we don't want to hang out with you. We were all in our 20s, if not more. And we ended up going to this one bar, and the bartender there seemed to kind of know where everything was happening, the parties and all that type of stuff. So after a while, we would end up going. We were there for about 5 days for, like, I think the a little bit of the festival, and every time we would come in and he would see us, he would play the band the Sisters of Mercy, and which is a great band. And so we knew that he was working, and we would go up to the bar. He would serve us. He would give us like a little bit more than what most bartenders would. We would give him an awesome tip, all three of us, and like separately. So he made a lot of money off of us because he would then tell us where the parties are. And so we found out that Spike Lee was having a party, and we got the address and we drove over to it. Spike Lee was not there, but when we went in, there's Vince Vaughn. And Vince Vaughn, I guess, has been like a lifelong conservative. So he was arguing, and of course, the guy's like 8 feet tall, and he was arguing with these guys that he was towering over, who were like Democrats, about, they were all discussing and debating and arguing politics, which I thought was pretty funny. Some of my friends used to hang out with Vince Vaughn, but I didn't talk to him, because I then saw the other direction, Vin Diesel enter. And I had just seen Boiler Room, which is weird because Boiler Room was already in the theaters, but yet it still premiered at Sundance. So I'd already seen it in the theaters. I didn't need to see it at Sundance. And I immediately went over to him, and said, Mr. Diesel, being very nice, I just saw Boiler Room. I thought you were awesome in it. It's a great movie. And, I can't wait to see what you do next. He took my hand. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. That's great to hear. We had this little brief 30-minute conversation, minute conversation somewhere in there. And then he went off. So that was, 2000. So what he did before Boiler Room was the Iron Giant. He did the voice of Iron Giant. He was in Saving Private Ryan. And Spielberg wanted him for that role in Saving Private Ryan because he saw the movies Stray, or the movie Strays, which is Vin Diesel produced it, directed it, and produced it. After that, he was in a short film called Multifacial, and then he was in the movie Awakenings with Robert De Niro and Robin Williams. He was uncredited. So my reason for bringing that up, not to just talk about how awesome I am that I got to meet Vin Diesel, is before that, he wasn't really Vin Diesel yet. It was, and Strays, I believe, did go to Sundance. And now, after Boiler Room, he had done Pitch Black, The Fast and the Furious, Knockaround Guys, and then XXX. So, okay, we're still not exactly at Vin Diesel yet, but if you notice in XXX, he shows his abs. His shirt is off a lot. And I do believe that he is one of the producers on it. So then after that, there is a short film called The Turbocharged Prelude to Too Fast, Too Furious. Then he did A Man Apart, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury, which was the animated film, The Pacifier, Find Me Guilty. He had the cameo in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Babylon AD, and then Fast and the Furious, or just Fast and Furious. So at a point in his career, he got such a massive ego that for him to take off his shirt, you had to pay him an extra $1 million. Oh,
wow.
No $1 million, shirt stays on. $1 million, shirt comes off. So he got to that point of being, I am the greatest actor on the planet. I could do Shakespeare without even reading, a page. I am the greatest actor ever. And then he pretty much, after Fast and the Furious, he then did another short film for Fast and the Furious. All of these are on like the Blu-rays and stuff. All the short films are on the Blu-rays. So then he did like Fast 5. And I think this is when his ego went down, because his movies weren't making as much money. Like, I think The Pacifier made some money. Find Me Guilty, I think, was like critically acclaimed, but it didn't make a lot of money.
Fun
Babylon
fact, The Pacifier is my very first Vin Diesel movie. Don't
Which
ask
one?
why.
Pacifier?
The Pacifier, believe it or not.
It's a kid's movie, so I don't think it'd be any different than
I was like a
Fairy
teenager at the time, so that's why I watched it. So
okay, moving on. I was going to say, if you're like a little kid watching The Pacifier, that'd be okay. But I would probably watch it because it's Vin Diesel, even at my age. The same way I would watch, The Tooth Fairy? With
that was like
Johnson.
The only reason. Believe it or not, that was like the only reason I watched it, because Vin Diesel was in it. If Vin Diesel wouldn't have been in it, I probably would have just been like, whatever. I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, sometimes you watch something that maybe isn't in your age bracket because of who's in it. Even like Kindergarten Cop, with Schwarzenegger. Even though I think that was really aimed more at, it looks like it's for kids, but it isn't, because it's violent as hell. Yeah. There's a lot of blood in that movie. But I think so around this time, Fast and the Furious 5, or just Fast 5, was considered to be the best one. And then it went Fast 6. Then he did a short film, Riddick Blindsided, that I've never seen. It must be animated because it says voice. Then he did Riddick. He could not, now, for his cameo in Tokyo Drift, which is a prequel, he sat there and said, I want the rights to Riddick. And that's what they did. Okay. So in exchange, like, I'm assuming they flew him over. They did whatever they had to do to get him on set. If they actually shot in Tokyo, that scene, I don't know. But he got the rights to Riddick, because the Pitch Black did okay. And then Chronicles of Riddick, I don't think did well. And he was saying that it was like comparing it to Lord of the Rings. He was saying Pitch Black is like The Hobbit, and then Chronicles of Riddick is like Fellowship. And then he's going to do this trilogy, and it'll be like Lord of the Rings. So he was very high on himself. But then, Fast 6 came out, which he did right after that. Yeah, Blindsided. Okay, then Riddick. Riddick is more or less an indie movie, because he could not get money to make the third Riddick movie. So it was kind of self-funded, and which is why it's a small movie that kind of takes place on a planet, because it's not, he didn't have the backing that he had with Chronicles of Riddick. And then he did, then Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's Groot, he does the voice. Fast 7, Last Witch Hunter did not do well. He was in something called Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I don't know what that is. Then he did X3, so the return of Xander Cage. So that's kind of where I'll stop with this, for at least for right now. So my whole point in this is that he went from like a humble guy who was in a couple movies, made his own film. I remember he was on, I think it was 60 Minutes or something like that, along with some other filmmakers. And
Yeah.
God, I'm blanking. It's the guy who directed Pi. Fuck, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He has a new movie coming out. Darren Aronofsky. So he was on there with these other filmmakers that weren't known yet. They had no idea, we had no idea who these people were, except that he was just this guy. And then I remember when Saving Private Ryan came out, and I don't think it was Siskel and Ebert, but it was one of the versions of Siskel and Ebert. And they had said, they even reviewed or talked about Strays. And they said, well, here's a guy who knows what his name is, because they obviously changed his name. And, Vin Diesel kind of says it all as far as an action guy goes. So I think he went from humble to thankful to a massive ego, like massive, thinking, well, I'm going to be able to hold on to Riddick. I'm going to be able to hold on to Fast and the Furious. I'm going to be able to hold on to XXX. He went, and then he became humble again. And I think
isn't that the story of almost every big action star, like of the '80s and them? Like Stallone had his big ego and then fall and then back to humble. Then like Arnold had his thing. Everyone. I'm pretty sure they all had at one point. Hey, I'm just a humble guy. To I'm the best thing ever. To I'm just a humble guy again.
Yeah, so I've kind of followed his career since the very beginning, and I've always liked him. He's kind of gone off and on with me with stuff, but I find it interesting. Like we reviewed Sylvester Stallone's movies. We did the Rocky and then the Rambo, and I think Stallone he does a Rocky. It does really well. He does another movie like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And he's like, oh shit, that bombed. I better make a Rambo. And then Rambo does really well. Then he does another movie and then that bombs. He goes, oh crap, I better make another Rocky. So then he makes another Rocky. Okay, good, that did well. Then he makes another movie that bombs. Oh crap, I better make another Rambo. And it kind of goes on. If you look at his IMDb, it kind of is like that. And I think Vin Diesel realized that through that people weren't necessarily interested in Chronicles of Riddick. I love the Riddick movies, especially Riddick. I think it's great. And I think I need to
watch them still. I've seen the first one, loved the first one. I think I've seen bits of the second one. I haven't seen the second one the whole way through. From what I've seen, I liked. I know a lot of people said the second one wasn't that great, but then I heard the third one was a lot better. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting the two mixed up. I'm not sure.
No, a lot of people don't like the second one. So I would go, it goes Riddick, then Chronicles, then Pitch Black. There is that animated film in there, that Dark Fury that takes place between Chronicles and Riddick. But it's so I think that he, for a while, even with like XXX, he's like, I'm XXX. That's I only need to do one movie. And we'll, and I'm good, so it's, and I'm going to just let people know I'm still learning how to do this. So, because this is all new to me. So I'm going to add to this. Oh, good. The trailer is muted. So here's the trailer. This is for the first movie. So we could kind of talk over it. It has no sound. So I think we should be okay. But what do you, I mean, it's very James Bond. It's very, now here's my problem with the entire series. The characters don't necessarily grow. There is no point where the Vin Diesel character, Alexander Cage, there's no consequences to what he's doing. Like normally you would have something in it where somebody dies, like it's like his wife would die or a friend would die. Girl, yeah, and he yeah, he would start off as this cocky, arrogant character, and then he would get somebody killed. It's his fault, and then that would turn out to be, and then he would switch that all around, and then become this hero. He never does that in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I I agree with that. I think what a lot of um, all three movies have what we book people call plot armor, where they're not going to die no matter what. And I think if they would have actually made everything a little more consequential, like, there's weight behind every action he does. If he, you know, like, if you watch like some like any action movie, you'll see the guy gets caught and they're like, hey, you see this, you see your girlfriend here, in about 2 hours she's gonna blow up she's locked in a room with a bomb. If you don't get to her in 2 hours, she's gonna blow up and you're never gonna see her again. And then he has to race against the clock to get into that room somehow and save her. There's nothing like that in these movies. So it's basically just balls to the walls action. So
Yeah,
which
and
I like, but
which is fine. I'll say this right now. I think the first film is my favorite out of the three.
Oh really?
But
Okay.
I think that it's very James Bond. I think that it's a very fun film. It's the longest. I think it's like 2 hours and 6 minutes, something like that.
2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere right in there. 2 hours, 3 minutes, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And so it's definitely the longest. I
124
love
minutes. So 2 hours and 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. And then I love that Asia Argento is in it, which I find this funny because it's, I don't know how many women have actually been canceled during this whole woke Me Too thing and all that type of stuff. She was canceled. She was making a movie because she's also a director.
Mm-hmm.
And she allegedly sexually harassed one of the like the main star or whoever he is. He's a model, but he was acting in the movie, and he pressed charges against her, and she got canceled. So I don't know,
Okay.
like I said, how many women actually have been canceled, but she might be the first one or something like that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm single and own cats, but so I'm they say like an old cat lady. I'm an old cat man. If Asia Argento was hitting on me on a film set, I would be, take me. Just take, I'm here. I'm available for you. Just do what you want. But apparently he wasn't available or whatever it was and didn't appreciate it. So, but I do love that she's in this. Oddly, she was in her father's film, Dario Argento. I think it's Trauma was like one of her first films, and she does a nude scene, and she talks about how weird it was for her dad to direct her naked, and that, which is, yeah, she's always found that weird. But her dad's an oddball, anyways. He's a great director, but a weird guy.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed XXX. I like the different locations. Well,
Yeah.
Rob Cohen, I even think has been. Am I thinking of the right guy? I think I'm thinking of the right guy.
The one that directed the first Triple X?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's Rob Cohen.
But oh no, I know that's him. But yeah, sexual abuse allegations. So he has even been. So he's not making any movies anymore.
I mean,
And
let's be real here, man. I find it sometimes, and I know this might be a little controversial, but every time I hear someone being accused of sexual assault or sexual allegations against somebody, my first thing is, and it's always 20 years later after the fact, it's like, why did you wait this long to say anything? I mean, I can understand 5 years later because of fear, but 20 years later, after he done blew up and got popular, now you're all of a sudden, oh, he's got money now. He sexually assaulted me. Yeah, he did. He touched a boob.
what some people will say, and it's primarily women, they're like with Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein and stuff, will say, The reason why they waited is because nobody would believe them. And so you have to wait till really like that one person comes out, and then 2 will come out, 5 will come out, 10 will come out, 20 will come out, and then you could finally start to do something. Because looking at him, it says here, his last movie was 2018.
Okay.
2018, the Hurricane Heist. But it says here, wait. Oh God. So 2019. Okay, so Rob Cohen's, allegedly, Cohen's trans daughter, Valkyrie Weather, wow, that's a name, accused Cohen of sexually assaulting her as a child, as well as sexually assaulting other women. So he sexually assaulted his trans daughter? Oh my God, it goes on a lot longer, but I'm not going to, he says that he denies these claims, says that he attempted to turn her straight, confirmed that she witnessed at least one incident of sexual assault. Another allegation of sexual assault was published in the Huff Post. Conan's lawyer denied any wrongdoing, but then 2021, Asia Argento alleged that Cohen drugged her and raped her during the filming of XXX. A representative of Cohen denied Argento's assault accusations as absolutely false, which now, here we go. You click on Asia Argento, sexual assault allegation against Argento. So, pot calling the kettle black type of thing. I don't know. I mean, it's if one of us got canceled for, let's say, the N word, and then the other person went and used the N word again and got canceled. I mean, come on, wouldn't you learn from the person who got canceled to begin with? I mean, you shouldn't say it anyways, but it's like, you think that you would learn from a mistake where it's like, oh, I just accused the director of XXX, but now I'm the director and now I'm going to go do it.
Oh my. Drama.
Oh my. Yeah. So and this, do you have a copy of XXX? Because this is mine.
Okay, I have the double feature.
I thought, wait, which one got lost in the mail?
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, okay. But you've seen all 3.
Yes, I've seen all 3.
Okay. So this has a ton of special features on it, which is pretty cool. Audio commentary, there's behind the scenes videos, like music videos. A whole bunch of stuff is on this.
Is that the director's cut?
I do, but I'm going to bring that up in a moment.
Oh, okay. That's the original. That's the theatrical cut.
This is the original one.
Okay, that's what I have here. And this is the second one, State of the Union, the second one.
Yeah.
So
are there any stunts that you really liked in this one?
I mean, I like the whole him stealing the side of his car and blowing it up off the side of the bridge, and him parachuting off of it. That was pretty cool. The whole avalanche scene, for those of you that watched it, that was pretty cool. I mean, these movies are pretty much just going to be me saying like, "Hey, remember that scene? That was cool."
Yeah, see, I liked all this. I like him jumping off the bridge there with the car, and I like the opening with the test. I thought was pretty good. I like the test.
The opening with Rammstein playing their hit song at the time. I think.
Yeah, I kind of knew the song, but I didn't know who sang it. I had no idea who they were.
Yeah. Yes, it's the band called Rammstein. That's the only reason I knew that, because I used to be a big fan of. They're a German band.
And they were
Or German, Russian.
put together with Marilyn Manson for some very bad things that happened. So they were on like the list of bands that should be banned because of bad things happening.
You think Rammstein should be banned?
No.
It's German.
But if you remember Columbine, they were on the list of bands that the shooters were listening to.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. Okay.
Yeah, they had Marilyn Manson. And Manson would talk about it a lot. About how how he was
Yeah,
accused.
I only like the 5 songs by them, and the song, and I guess during the music video they showed clips from the movie, like in between, like the whole first part of the opening is the music video, but the music video is mostly them the scenes from I guess what they shot of them playing. So, and then they have like a few clips from the movie.
Okay, well that makes sense. While they're up on stage, you might as well shoot the music video and then intercut
the music video while you're shooting them their intro scene for the movie.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Samuel L. Jackson once again playing this type of character? Isn't he just Nick Fury?
Like a Nick Fury kind of style character. I mean, isn't that what Samuel L. Jackson does anymore? Like, he's always played Nick Fury. It's just a different name.
But you can take this. I mean, I love Samuel L. Jackson, but it's weird seeing him because he had already. Let me see here, because he had already done. Let's see. This
would be before Iron Man. This would predate Iron Man. So maybe this is what inspired them for them to cast him as Nick Fury. When they seen him in this, that hey, he makes a perfect Nick Fury.
Yeah, maybe.
It was 2008, and I think he didn't even show up until the second one. So I'm not even sure when Nick Fury was even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Unless he was in Hulk, I'm not sure. I didn't see the Hulk, so I can't comment on that.
Okay. So there's State of the Union, and it was done. Okay, yeah, 2002. So he had already. So wait, so was he XXX first, or was he Iron Man first? Hold on.
I think.
What did you say?
I think he was XXX first, because Iron Man wasn't until 2008, I believe.
Okay, so he's Gibbons in 2002, and then State of the Union, he was Gibbons again. And then Iron Man was, 2008.
Yeah.
So he'd already played Gibbons twice. And then they brought him on as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. I'm wondering if they sat there and said, how they got him to do that. Like, oh, you're just playing the same character from XXX, except we have like a 10-year commitment, so you're always going to have a part in these movies.
There you go.
And then he's just like, sure, why not? Because it is pretty much the same character. He even has, Nick Fury even has the patch, and Gibbons has the patch and the messed up face.
He's got the patch, the messed up face.
Later,
kind of like
well, it's not the patch; it's the glasses with the lens that's blacked
that
out.
was in the third movie. The third movie, I think they kind of like made a nod to his Nick Fury character because he had
So, yeah, by
the
then
one.
he would have played both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was interesting. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guy. I just find it interesting when actors play the same parts. You know, when
It's just
clearly
different
this,
names. So,
yeah,
so that's
and
I'm assuming that when they were trying to cast Nick Fury, they must have seen the XXX movies and said, "Hey, Samuel L. Jackson, perfect for the character. Let's get him on board." And lo and
that
behold, he's now Nick Fury.
yeah, yeah. Who do we get for this? We get Sam Jackson. So, um,
Which, here's what a lot of people will, you know, sometimes when we talk here on film discussion, they'll accuse us that we don't like when they race swap or gender swap or anything like that. This is one that is proven it's done right because in the comics, Nick Fury is white.
yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is not white, but Samuel L. Jackson plays the character perfectly though. So that and this is the one point I'm like, I don't care. I actually prefer Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury to the old version of Nick Fury. So
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that the thing is we all love Samuel L. Jackson. So okay,
yeah,
so there's like Morgan Freeman has played God. I didn't see or hear anybody protesting outside the theater
Morgan
of him
Freeman.
playing God. So
I mean, he's got the voice. He's got the
yeah,
voice for God.
so
So I mean, I feel like Morgan Freeman playing God would kind of make sense because it's Morgan Freeman.
and
He
Denzel
may be a
Washington
God.
played the Equalizer and the TV show. The Equalizer is a white British man. So who's in like his 60s or something like that. And then you get Denzel Washington. And then you recast it for the TV show and you bring in Queen Latifah, which everybody goes, "Oh fuck, come on, really? Really? Really?" You know, now okay, so now we're just not going from just a race swap, we're now going for a race and gender swap. And I think that's where the problem is that when you force it on people, you know, if it's a good actor, we like the actor, and they don't go, "Oh yeah, we only cast Samuel L. Jackson as Gibbons or as Nick Fury because he's black."
Because he's a black man. That's the only reason. He
No.
doesn't have any qualifications for the character. He's just a black man. That's not a good reason to cast somebody. If this person is black and he's really good actor and he can play the part, I'm all for it. All for it.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
I mean,
back to Triple X.
but technically you could have a female XXX.
You could.
Is that as we
third movie, so
well, yeah.
we'll get there.
Well, I guess more of a standalone movie with a female XXX. So you know, Michelle Rodriguez or somebody or some like a tough chick could play her or could play the character. But now you can't
Megan
do
Fox.
that. Before she got the face surgery done. I liked her before the surgery. After that, she just kind of looked like a doll. But I don't think that you could do that today. Because then everybody would go, "Oh, you're just replacing Vin Diesel, you know, or Ice Cube, I guess, with a woman." And it would bomb. Like Ballerina bombed. And I loved Ballerina. Both OGP and I, Philip, we both loved Ballerina. I think it's the best movie in the John Wick series. And it bombed because everybody just went, "Oh, another female replacement." Like Furiosa.
Yeah.
"Oh, she's just a replacement for Mad Max." And then when the directors
You can't please them all, unfortunately. You can't please everybody.
no, but you also have the like the director of Furiosa talking about stuff, which then makes it very woke, when he, because it was very clear from Mad Max Fury Road that he never wanted to make a Mad Max movie. He wanted to make a Furiosa movie. I mean, Mad Max doesn't even talk for like 75% of the movie. And then he finally gets the mask off, and then he talks from time to time. He clearly wanted to make, George Miller clearly wanted to make a Furiosa movie, but probably Warner Brothers is like, no, we're going to do a Mad Max movie. And so he's like, okay, fine. And it didn't even do that good in the theater. It did much better when it came out. And, for like physical copies or streaming or whatever, it was around that time. And then they said, okay, well, you could do Furiosa. And of course that bombed. So and then even George Miller, who's the guy is very woke. He sat there and said, would you ever, the interviewer asked him, would you ever make another Mad Max movie with Mel Gibson? And he's like, oh, no. Well, okay, so you're ready to destroy a franchise because of your political beliefs that you guys don't align, instead of giving the audience what they want. They want Mel Gibson as Mad Max, which he kind of did in Machete 2. And Robert Rodriguez was very aware of how he shot Mel Gibson in this black car. Very road warrior. It's just Mel Gibson was probably very, aware of what was going on. So let's just destroy a series, and because of our political beliefs. So it's, it doesn't make sense to me.
The main reason why I say keep your politics out of movies. Movies are meant for escape from the real world. I don't want to hear about. I don't want, evil Trump or evil Biden or evil Kamala or evil Barack Obama or whoever. I don't want none of that in my movies. I want that to be away from my movies, and my movies to be an escape. So, that's what I hated about a lot of movies today.
Even Danny Boyle, who's the director of 28, Years Later, which I hated, and OGP did too. We watched it basically at the same time, but in different states. And he did an interview saying that, like, you can't do Slumdog Millionaire because it's cultural appropriation. Oh, really? The film that you won the Academy Award for? The film that made you a multimillionaire? Are you willing to give back that Academy Award? Are you willing to give back all those millions and millions of dollars that you made off of this film? This film made you like a household name. But now, oh no, can't do that now. Can't do that now. It's like, okay, then give all your shit back. Shut up and give your shit back. I don't want to hear this crap from the guy who makes a zombie movie. Well, alleged zombie movie, because there's barely any in it, but that's a whole different thing. So,
and I was looking forward to this one. So, no, I'm not.
Oh, apparently, OGP and I are in the minority. All these friggin' critics love it. So I thought it was boring as hell. I try not to leave in the movie. If I have to go to the bathroom, I try to hold out. This one, I just got up and left. I didn't care. It's like, I gotta pee. I gotta go. So just did not care. So, but anything else on XXX?
I mean, it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. Vin Diesel's awesome. Like I said, you can kind of tell this is one of his earlier roles. Not that it's his first. I think this may be one of his first lead. I mean, maybe besides his Fast and Furious and maybe his own movie. I don't know. Did he star and act in his own movie or the movie he directed?
Let me take a look. I'm on this page here. So let me say this because I like doing this. So the budget of the movie is $88.3 million. It made $277.4 million. Now I could get out of the page. So that's what I like to give the. So oops. I guess I could have just stayed right here. There we go.
I could be looking.
Okay, so XXX. Knock Around Guys, that's part of an ensemble. Fast and Furious ensemble. Pitch Black Ensemble, Boiler Room Ensemble. Well, the Iron Giant, he's the voice of the Iron Giant.
Okay. Yeah, but the Iron Giant, he doesn't really say much. I mean, he says like a few words here and there. So it's kind of like almost like I Am Groot. He's pretty much what the Iron Giant is. Like he just
Okay.
says like a few sentences here and there. So that's give or take.
Yeah, then there's Saving Private Ryan Ensemble. Then Strays, of course, he's the main actor. Multifacial is a short film that he made, so he's the main in that. And then he's an orderly in Awakenings. But after XXX, yeah, then he got like a Man Apart. He's the lead in that. He's also the producer. Chronicles of Riddick, main in that. He's also one of the producers. Then The Pacifier. Okay. So pretty much after XXX, yeah, he's the main guy a lot of the times.
So this is like one of his very first like main roles. Like he's the lead actor.
Yeah, so and I can see why people would hire him. So I totally get that. So.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell that he had like this, like he's a little new at acting, because I mean not new like acting wise, but new at being a lead, I should say. So and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I kind of see, him like not getting the bold face, not like, kind of like smiling every time he says something. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe he didn't feel like at that time that he could say something, but maybe he could about, because like John Wick is, I think, a great example of a character who goes through change, even though every movie is kind of the same, right? He's taking revenge for his wife's death. He's definitely taking revenge for the dog's death. He's taking, well, it's not revenge for his wife's death, so she died of cancer, but he's out there kind of fighting for her. He's definitely taking revenge for the dog, as you should. And then, of course, his car was stolen. Yeah. So through each film, he's kind of building up to what you would see in part 4. So, and plus he gets the shit kicked out of him, and he's breaking bones and getting slashes and scars and all this stuff. And you just never see that with XXX. You don't see that.
I mean, come on, you gotta keep that pretty face. I mean, that's what the whole reason.
Yeah, you could have a building fall over and he'd walk out of the dust and there wouldn't be a piece of dust on him. It's not like, phew, I just survived that. Instead, it's like, hey, no, I'm going to make a witty line. There was no.
Make sure the camera's going on, because if it's not filmed, it didn't happen.
That's right. Well, that's even though it could be doctored, but okay, so part 2, XXX State of the Union.
Do you want to talk about the director's cut at all, or?
Okay, yes. So when in between XXX and XXX State of the Union, they released a director's cut. It's a 2-disc. It's and I forgot about this. I owned this years and years and years and years ago. And I guess I sold it for whatever reason it was. So I completely forgot about it. So when I put on State of the Union and it had trailers playing, one came up saying, hey, you can now get the XXX director's cut. It has 8 extra minutes of footage, and there's the death of Xander Cage. I'm like, that's where I saw it. It's on that DVD. So I called Zia and said, do you guys have this? And the guy's like, yeah, we do. So I raced down there. I was going to go get it today, but then I raced down there at like 9 o'clock at night. They closed it at 10. And it's the Zia on Rainbow. So I want to give them a little plug because the guy was so nice to me. He went out and looked on the shelf. Nothing in the system was listed as director's cut. He popped it open to make sure that there was a double disc. Very nice guy. So I went in, and there just happened to be, when I was purchasing this, the guy who helped me and another guy next to him were 2 big XXX fans. And I'm just like, what is the odds of that I'm buying XXX and there's 2 fans right there? It wasn't until I got home where I'm like, oh crap, I should have invited them on the podcast, but I didn't think about that. So thank you, Zia Records, for pulling this for me. But this is it here, and I tried to get a picture of it, but of course it's saying, on here, SteamYard, it's saying, oh, it does, it doesn't work. It's not like a JPEG. It's something else. So I can't put it up on here. I don't know yet how to pull stuff right from the internet and show it. But this is uncensored, unrated director's cut. And it's got a bunch of stuff on it. And that includes the final chapter, The Death of Alexander, Cage is what it is. And then it's got basically just really two actors in it. So this is where I question if this is where then Diesel's ego came into it. I don't need to do a sequel. I'm not going to do a sequel. You could kill off my character. I don't care. Or if it's just like, well, you can make one without me type of thing. I don't know. So because looking at what he did, and it's interesting that
they don't even, if you watch the short film, like you don't even see, I don't even think it is Vin Diesel.
No, it's a stunt double.
Character. It's just not okay. So because you don't see his face, you don't see nothing. All you see is the coat. You see the two X's on the back of his neck, the 3 X's on the back of his neck.
Yeah, and it's a 4-minute,
basically
like 4 minutes and some sequel of some seconds. Yeah, see that's his stunt double.
Okay.
And so this is supposed to take place, I guess, if you go off of the second film, in Bora Bora, which it doesn't really look like Bora Bora.
No.
But so that's him. You never see his face.
No.
And that's supposed to be his apartment. He's got this girl who obviously wants to have sex. She's looking pretty good. Yeah. Probably shot this all in like 1 or 2 nights.
Probably.
And this is where, it's like, was this a,
let's kill my character off so I can move on. So I can go do other things that I want to do.
It might be 2005 when they did this. So what did he do? Okay, so this is right after Chronicles of Riddick. So Pacifier, Find Me Guilty, cameo in Tokyo Drift, Babylon AD, Fast and Furious. He did another short for Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast 6, short film for Riddick again, then Riddick, Guardians of the Galaxy, Furious 7, The Last Witch Hunter, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, plays Shroom, and then he came back for XXX3.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, obviously some work was put into this short.
Yeah.
And I think that you only do something like this if you want to kill the character.
Yeah. Well, and let's be real here. This short film really is kind of unnecessary because they mentioned that he dies in the second movie. It's just like, hey, what happened to that?
It's because of this. This is the reason why they mentioned he's dead. Now, granted, they could just say, like you just mentioned, they could have just said, oh, he died. He died off screen.
Pretty much.
Or just say that we can't find him.
Yeah. And let's be real here. What do we learn? If you don't see a body, it didn't happen.
Yep. Oh, well, we learned that from 2 freaking movies, which I'm going to bring up. So, but like who is this girl? Like they kidnap and take this girl. I don't understand that. Like, is she somebody? So they take her away in the van. They leave his car.
Maybe it's supposed to be the girl from the first movie. They just couldn't get Asia Argento back to play her, so they just got this girl to do it. I don't know. Because they really don't say who she is. They don't. They don't have him like saying like, "Hey, Yolanda" or anything like that. You know, they don't. Basically, I don't think he even says anything in the short, does he?
No. Well, there's only one line of dialogue, and that's Vin Diesel from the first film saying, "The things I will do for my country." That's it.
Okay.
And this guy
And
here,
then there was this
that's
skin.
Willem Dafoe's henchman. That's his like guy. So they are tying this into State of the Union.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's I didn't catch that because I did watch the short film before I watched State of the Union because I was like I wanted to I remember you saying there was a short film and I was like was it this or was it something else? It was a short film. So I looked it up and it said that there was a short film. It was only on the director's cut. So I was like, crap, I don't have the director's cut. So I was trying to find it. I found the YouTube video that you sent me today. I found it yesterday, so I watched that to see like, okay, what was, so I can at least know what I'm talking about. And I was like, this was kind of unnecessary. Kind of. I mean, it's only a 4 minute short, so you technically, I don't know. To me, it's kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I think maybe he was doing too much, or maybe it was his ego, or maybe he's like, oh, been there, done that. I already have a couple other franchises going. Because it says here, the final chapter, the death of, God, I keep having a problem with his name. What's his name?
Xander Cage.
Xander. The X is messing me up. Xander Cage is a short film that serves as a prequel to XXX State of the Union. It was included as an extra on the special edition DVD of the first XXX movie, well, the director's cut, and details the alleged death of Xander Cage before the events of the sequel. You could stream or find the rental options of this short film on various platforms like MoviePhone. So they do, and then on Fandom, there is a much larger thing that talks about this. Because it says here in the short film, Xander is played by Vin Diesel's stunt double, who never shows his face or speaks, while reusing some archival lines spoken by Diesel. And then it also features another actress playing Jordan King. It features, I don't know how to say her name, as Jordan King from the first film. So the girl that's in this is from the first movie. So there's a tie from the first movie into the short. And then it says also features John C. Connolly as Lieutenant Colonel Alabama Cobb, one of the villains from XXX State of the Union, who is George Deckert's, who's Willem Dafoe, right-hand man and the man behind the attack on Xander. So it's connected to both first and second film. So you kind of need to see it to
kind of.
Yeah. So I guess
I
it
don't
does.
know. I mean, if you're a completist, watch it. But if you're like me, I mean, I'm gonna get the director's cut of the DVD of the director's cut so I can have the director's cut of the movie. But if I'm gonna like marathon these movies again, I'll just get the short film.
I would throw it in. If somebody said let's have a XXX marathon, I would put it in. We would have to watch the short before we went to the second film.
Okay. All right. I mean, maybe for someone that's never seen the movies, maybe. Like if you're introducing like these movies to a friend of yours who's never seen any XXX movies, then okay, play the first movie or the director's cut would probably be better. Then play the short film, then watch State of the Union, then the third one. But if your friends already seen them and just said, "Hey, I just want to watch XXX and State of the Union and all them," I'd skip the short film.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the circumstances. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
yeah, because it is kind of like watching the Fast and the Furious shorts. I've already seen them when I did my Fast and the Furious marathon of doing them in chronological order, which means like part 3 is part 1 type of thing. And so I would either go to YouTube or the Blu-ray has the short films. And the short films are made on purpose because they're made to tie in to the movies. So, but if I were to have another marathon, I probably wouldn't watch the shorts because I've already seen them.
Yeah.
But somebody who hasn't seen the movies, I would say, oh yeah, we need to see the shorts. So, because they do mean something.
It makes sense. It makes sense that way.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to get more into detail on. This is an interesting poster that I found. XXX 2, the next level. So that's a different poster than what we have here.
Yeah. This is.
So. Yeah, you got that. So you got them on Blu-ray. I got them on DVD. I did not watch any of the special features on these except for that short. So I gave it more time, then maybe, but I just didn't do it. So
yeah,
let's go. So here is a question for you.
One thing I will say before we continue. The nice thing is these are on their own separate discs. They're not both. They're not on one disc. So I'm actually glad about this because I hate when they try to jam both movies on one disc.
Yeah. No, it's always nice to have them on their separate discs. So,
and it comes with the special features and everything. So if I want to watch the special features, I can. I just didn't have a lot of time to watch any of the special features. I just watched this, then the short film, then this, and then 3.
Right, makes sense. I like how they got Ice Cube there with the XXX on the back of his neck.
Yeah,
and then on the back here they do promote the director's cut, which is right there.
There you go. Okay.
So, what's weird is I own it. The one. I own it. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Own it, the director's cut. Own it, SWAT. Own it, Hellboy. Do not own National Security. I will never own National Security with Martin Lawrence. I will never own White Chicks either. No way. I would own Anacondas, and I could take House of the Flying Dragons, take it or leave it. But I just think it's kind of cool that they have the picture of Ice Cube with that on his neck. And this also comes with a bunch of special features, audio commentary, and makings of XXX according to Ice Cube. So 2 questions for you. 2 questions. One, is the XXX program, did Samuel L. Jackson make up this program before Vin Diesel got there? Or is he stealing the idea kind of from Vin Diesel? Because in the first film, he's got the XXX, on his neck and on the back of his neck. And then Gibbons is like, oh, that's kind of ironic because this would now be your 3rd strike. So 3 X's. I'm now going to call you XXX. Meaning the XXX program never happened before Vin Diesel. But according to State of the Union, man, they got a whole underground place. They got everything says XXX on it. Samuel L. Jackson is saying we need to recruit another XXX. He, and in the 3rd film, he does say that he created it. Did he?
Maybe they came into a little bit of when they were writing the script. I guess they may have had plans for Vin Diesel to be in the 2nd movie, and then I guess maybe this is when Vin Diesel was being his big egotistical self, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to be in it," or he was too much, and they're like, "Oh crap, we need to kind of improvise here." So uh, Ice Cube. Let's pick Ice Cube, and we'll make it that we created this thing. Because I don't think in the second movie they mentioned when they made it. It was the third movie they said that he was created the Triple X program before them. I
Well,
know
yeah,
that
in the third
Samuel
film,
Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson says, yeah, that he did invent it. But did
Yeah,
he?
well, he was a
Because in
recruiter.
part two, they always mention Xander throughout part two.
Yeah, yeah. Well, from what I'm understanding, he was a recruiter, so maybe he didn't. Maybe the program was always a thing, but he didn't name it the Triple X program until after Xander.
I'm
That's a
thinking that he got the
possibility.
idea from Xander, and it started
Yeah,
with Xander. But
yeah,
in between parts 1 and 2, well, I should say, I'm sorry, in between parts 1 and 3, there appears to be a lot more triple X's.
yeah.
So so I find that to
Maybe.
be, because then if everybody is a triple X, do they still have a name? So like James Bond, he would really pretty much just be known as 007.
Yeah.
And then there is 008, there's 005, there's there could be
Other
0050.
agents. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Bond
Mhm.
is 007. So in
Yeah.
this, is everybody triple X, but there's still Bob, Carol, Susan, Andy. They're just in the
I mean,
triple X program.
apparently, I guess they're just a Triple X agent at that point.
Yeah,
That
because
they
they
go under
they
whatever name they have, like Vin Diesel would be Xander Cage, Ice Cube would be Darius Stone, uh, the uh, the one from the third one would be whatever they called him. I can't remember his name.
well, there's a whole group of them.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of them, but they'll go under
Yeah.
their normal name, but they're just a Triple X agent at that point.
Right. So that's, yeah. So I find that weird that in part 3, he just says, I agree. But when you have completely different movies, but the Death Race films. So you have the first Death Race movie was Jason Statham, right? And then you have the warden of the prison says she created the Death Race. But then if you go back to the prequel, in there, they have a different warden. And when they go to bring in this new warden, which would be in the first film, they go, oh, well, her ego is so big that she will claim that she made up Death Race. So they had to make up an excuse because she, in the prequel, technically didn't make Death Race.
Yeah.
So they had to make up this excuse. So it's kind of like, okay, are we now retconning a little bit here? Did Samuel L. Jackson? I guess he did create it, but it had to start with Xander.
It's possible. I mean, like I said, I think what the original plan was, again, they wrote the script with Vin Diesel in mind. Vin Diesel couldn't do it or didn't want to do it, whatever the case was, and they're like, "Oh crap, we need to come up with someone new. We need to figure out something else here." Because from what I don't even think the third one was even supposed to be like Xander Cage coming back, because if you see how the second movie ends, he's kind of like, "Hey, we're gonna when the new threat comes, we're gonna need a whole new Triple X that's even crazier than Darius Stone." So I think they were planning on doing like, Vin Diesel the first one, Ice Cube the second one, somebody else is the third. So I
See,
don't think it
that
was
would have been
supposed to be like,
interesting. You could
that's
still
what I think
have,
was supposed to be.
but you
But
could still have both of
evidently
them
they're like,
in
hey,
part 3. Like, who would have been in 3? Who would have been the triple X in 3? I'm curious if they even had an idea. Like, if they wrote that knowing that there would be, that they're going to do part 3 and it would be a different actor. Like, did they already know the actor who they were thinking? Or maybe there was a list of 5 actors or female. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'd be a lead actress would be in it. So
Either that or the Ice Cube film bombed so bad that they just decided to scrap it. I think maybe that may have been the idea. But who knows?
Well, okay. Well, let's take a look at that. So XXX State of the Union came out April 29th, 2005. So only a few years later. And it it bombed. Its budget is 60. No, go on.
I was pretty sure it did. So I was thinking, I'm like, usually when they change characters, usually like you don't bring back the one from the first movie, that's usually the case. It's gonna bomb. Even though
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed the second one a little bit more than the first one. I still enjoyed the first one, but I think the second one had a little bit higher stakes than the first one. Like the first one was kind of like, okay, that's okay, maybe not higher stakes. Well, they're trying to stop the assassination of a president, so I think that's a little bit high. I mean, maybe not higher stakes, but
well, it's more personal to people in the U.S. So it'd be a little more pro. I did like the beginning of it when the guys showed up on the farm and they threw those things on the ground and they just like blew out these holes that then they would drop down into the XXX like facility that's being hidden underground by this farm. I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But so State of the Union, its budget was 60 million. It only made 71.1 million.
Ooh, so it barely made its money back at that point.
Yeah. Critical response, if you go along with Rotten Tomatoes, it says the film has an approval rating of 17%. And that's based on 138 reviews.
Yeah.
While the average rating of 3.84 out of 10. Yeah. So it did. So one critic called Ice Cube's XXX character chubby, slurry, incomprehensible action hero. That is awful. Wow.
Poor Ice Cube, man.
So with that being said, well, okay, this comes to my second question. So I'm going to put this up here.
In the center of them.
Okay. My second question is Ice Cube an action hero? Is Ice Cube a good replacement for Vin Diesel? Why? I'm going to say no. Even in Ghost of Mars, I don't see Ice Cube as an action hero at all. I think he does great comedy, like the Friday movies, Barbershop and
more
stuff.
More of a gangster more than an action hero.
Okay, Boys in the Hood. I mean, he was really good in that. And then, of course, his son played him in, Straight Outta Compton. So I think he's great in some dramatic roles. I think he's great, and his music is good. I like him all around, but he's not an action hero. So just looking at what's playing here, if you saw this trailer for the first time, would you be like, oh, that's an awesome replacement for Vin Diesel? Or would it be like, oh, that was a bad idea?
But I think they kind of played toward Ice Cube's strength because they kind of made it that, he was supposed to be a warrior or a soldier, but they kind of made him a little more gangster style. And that they kind of made it more like his background was more gangster than soldier, and that's actually what got him into trouble because he wanted to go after the general because he, was peed off the general over something, and he went after him instead of actually doing his job, which is what people in the hood would have done. They would have just been like, no, we're gonna basically, they did my boy dirty. I'm gonna go after him, and I'm gonna kill them, and then we'll just think about consequences later. So I think they fed off of Ice Cube's strength a little bit there, which again, style that he's more known for. Is he a good replacement for Vin Diesel? Absolutely not. But again, we don't know what the plan was, and maybe that is the biggest problem. Like I just said before, maybe they wrote this movie with Vin Diesel in mind. Vin Diesel didn't want to do it, and then they decided, well, who else is good at the time? Ice Cube, I guess, was cheap enough at the point. Let's put him in it.
Yeah, because it's I didn't mind him in Ghost of Mars, the John Carpenter movie. I mean, I liked how, and plus Jason Statham was in there too. So I like how it was structured. I'm one of the few people that likes Ghost of Mars, but and I was fine with him being in it because I think Ghost of Mars was meant to be Escape from Mars. I think it was meant to be the third Escape movie, and they didn't, maybe they couldn't get Kurt Russell. So they're like, okay, well, what do we do? Oh, we'll put, I don't know, whatever Ice Cube's name is, that like Tennessee Jones or something, or Alabama Smith, or
Darius Stone.
No, in Ghost of Mars.
Oh, I'm not sure what his.
Yeah, whatever. They give him the name like Snake Plissken. They kind of give him that that type of thing. And so I don't think that we would have gotten more movies from Ghost of Mars with him playing this type of character. So then to see him in XXX, I thought was kind of weird, especially when you have a lot more probably black actors that are more suited. Like if you notice, Vin Diesel had no problem taking his shirt off in the first film. Probably got paid an extra $1 million or something. And then, but Ice Cube doesn't. And I was wondering, like, what is Ice Cube's build? Like, did he go and work out for 2 months to get like a six-pack? And I think if he did, he would have at least taken his shirt off once so we could see that. But he didn't. So was he even in shape for this? And I don't know, because looking at the directing also, I didn't really see any wide shots of Ice Cube fighting with somebody, because I wasn't exactly buying his fighting in this. I enjoyed it, but it's my least favorite, I think, out of the three. And and I didn't mind the fake out with Samuel L. Jackson, with Gibbons, where we're supposed to think he's dead. That didn't bother me as much as it does in the third film. So it I don't know. I thought that this was okay. This was okay. It seems smaller because they're obviously not doing the James Bond thing and going around the world. This now just kind of seems like like an action movie, that you probably could have taken this script and made it into anything. If they didn't want to do XXX, they could have done something else. So, what's your take on this whole thing?
I mean, I think that, I don't know, they probably could have picked somebody else other than Ice Cube, but I don't know. At this point, I kind of like Ice Cube in this, so I'm kind of okay with him being in it, and I'm glad that they actually didn't. I'll wait till we get to the second movie. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So, so I'll show you guys. This is the poster. That's the video. That's the DVD. Yeah, the DVD poster right there. So it's a little different than the one that I showed before. And from the director of Die Another Day, which is by far not the best Bond movie. And we got the guy. This is the Q character here. potential love interest may be here, and then they're going after the president. I like all this stuff at the White House. I thought that was okay. I thought that was good. Always like White. That's like the third movie where we're seeing White House movies, or blowing up. Along with the two, was it? God, there's the two movies where the guy's going to save the president who's been kidnapped, and I'm blanking on both of them. So you back? You good?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, my microphone died, so my headphones died. So I'm on a leash now, so hopefully you guys don't see my ceiling.
No, that's okay. Might want to get rid of those earbuds or something if they can't even last an hour and 20 minutes.
I mean, the sad thing is, I listen to you and Philip's thing at work, Horror Movie Mondays, and I listen to you guys with these, so I don't know why it's not lasting that long with this. I don't know.
Huh. Okay. I don't know. Maybe
you still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what was I trying to think of with this? So Gibbons, what do you think about his fake death?
I think it's cheap. I mean, especially, well, okay, in the second movie, you're kind of like, oh no, did they actually kill him? But then I'm kind of like, did they actually kill him, or no, did they not kill him? And even I was kind of like not believing it at first. And then when we'll talk about this again when we get to the third one, I feel like it was kind of just overdone at that point. But
yeah, I mean, I knew that they didn't. Even if I'd never seen part 3, I knew that they wouldn't have killed him. So, or even seen this before. It's Samuel L. Jackson. He's somehow coming back. You're not going to pay all that money to just have the guy die. Do you think that this is just kind of like a remake of the first one? Because they seem to kind of follow. We're going to start the movie off with, with the these games, these tests, and then you have like in part 1, in part 2, you have the guy who's like the Q character, the white guy, like the young white guy who like won't shut up talking. And then in part 3, you have the Q character, but it's a white girl who won't shut up. And then you have, of course, the Gibbons, which bringing in a third guy to be XXX.
Yeah.
And then who we never see. Yeah, because he dies, right? Well, no. We're getting into part 3. So do you like that State of the Union has more of an urban kick to it?
Like I said, it plays more towards Ice Cube's style, so it kind of makes sense in my eyes. Now, again, that's probably why it bombed. That's probably why it didn't do as well as the first movie, because when you're thinking Ice Cube, you're not thinking an action movie. You're thinking a gangster movie. You're thinking a comedy. You're thinking, rap music, all that stuff. You're not thinking, okay, even though there was some rap music in it, which I did.
Oh, there was a lot of rap music, including an Ice Cube song was playing in there too.
I didn't even realize that. Okay.
I think they should. I think that they should have had kind character Darius. I think that they should have had him at one point get up and start singing, like kind of doing some karaoke.
Well, the funny thing is that they when they show the pictures on there, they show like some of his old photos, like from when he was a rapper.
Yeah.
Or I mean, he's still a rapper, but you know, like when he first started out, and I was like, that's clever. That's clever. I liked it. I think the whole I think I liked the story a little bit better in the second one. The first one's still good. I do enjoy. I did enjoy the first one. I just feel like the second one had a little more like personal. Like it made it more personal. It wasn't just you're going after a dude just because he's he has like something that can kill everybody. That not there's nothing like personal for Xander to even go after him. Like except for the girl, which you know he goes after him because of the girl. Let's be real here.
Yeah, he in the first one, Xander seems to be more interested in the girl, in saving the girl, and it's which shows that, which I didn't mind so much because he's not military, he's not a soldier, he's a YouTuber. You know, he's a guy who does
Pretty
extreme
much at that
stunts.
point.
Because if he was a soldier, I think that he would understand that there is collateral damage. You know, that, you know, she got herself into this, you know, if we can help her, great. But if we can't, you know, we got to blow up that castle, you know, then that's just what we have to, you know, what we have to do. And what did you think of Exhibit? The rap singer Exhibit?
From the first one?
No, he's in the second one. He's Ice Cube's or Darius's main guy, the guy who gets him all the guns and everything.
Oh, wasn't he from the first movie? Wasn't he in the first movie too?
No.
I thought it was the same guy. So
there isn't a guy like that in the first movie. There isn't like a Q.
Yeah. He was like he put the weapons and stuff onto the car. Remember? Because when he asked for the car,
Okay, yeah. No, it's the white guy who's in. Okay, so I got my movies wrong. So it's the white guy who's in the first one. Then the second one was like Exhibit was the like the Q character, and then in the third one it's the white chick who's like the Q character.
Yeah. So it's not the same person from the first movie. So it's a
no, because he's only listed in part 2. Exhibit.
Okay, well I didn't even I unless I'm thinking of a completely different character. Are you referring to the guy that was like trying to get him out of like when he went into the house when he basically was set up to kill the sergeant or whatever? Is that the one you're referring to? I might be getting two characters mixed up.
Let me see.
Or you're talking about the one that like got like would like put weapons into the car and all that.
That's the white guy.
Is that the one you're talking about? Okay, yeah.
No. I'm finding it confusing. I mean, I got confused on some stuff, but the first one has the white guy, the second one has the black guy, the third one has the white chick. So Exhibit, the rap singer, is the guy when they go in the second one, they go, well, we need weapons, we need to get all this type of stuff, and he goes, I know where to get that. And then he goes in, and Exhibit has the chicks around him.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I was getting characters confused. I apologize. Let me pull up the cast here.
This guy.
See what...
I have him up on screen.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like this character. He was kind of like the comic relief at that point.
Yeah. He was like his like sideman, like his he was the guy that got everything.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him.
Did you like him as a Q type character, kind of like an urban Q?
I didn't really.
Because normally Q is like a white British guy.
Yeah, I didn't really picture him as a Q character. I kind of just pictured him as like he was like the one that Ice Cube went to see. Hey, I'm gonna need your guys' help to get to the capital. And I need you guys to basically start like distracting the military people and jacking cars and all that stuff, so I can make my job a little easier getting in there.
Okay. And when we're looking at bad guys, so wait, so Willem Dafoe's the bad guy in the first one.
Yeah.
And then, and no, I'm sorry, no, Willem Dafoe is the bad guy in the second one.
Yeah.
The bad guy in the first one. Wow, State of the Union should have done better. It says here, critical response. So the film opened on April 29, 2005 and grossed 12.7 on its opening weekend, finishing third to the box office behind The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which sucked, and The Interpreter, which is that Nicole Kidman, Sean Penn movie. That's not a bad movie. That's okay. But God, to finish third, I mean, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? God, that was awful. Just awful. I've clicked so far ahead that I now have to click way. So the villain in the first one is, I don't know the guy's name. Oh, I liked how Danny Trejo's in the first one. I thought that was funny. I'm thinking the villain in the first movie.
I think that's him. Yeah.
Let's see. I think that they should have had Danny Trejo as Danny Trejo. Or at least the guy go, dude, you're an actor. You look like, because they thought he was an actor. They're like, dude, you look just like Danny Trejo. As they're all hanging there and about to be killed. And like, who's Danny Trejo? But it's Danny Trejo. Former. Yeah, I don't. Probably nightclubs. His ultimate aim is love. Okay, yeah. Martin Sokas?
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Is
seeing
that
him
him
now. Okay. Yeah. No, that's not the one I showed you. That was somebody completely different. I thought he did a good job playing the lead villain.
Because we have in so this is the guy who was the villain in the first movie. I thought he was okay. I think he has more facial hair and long hair. No, he was fine. He was fine. He just kind of looked like and was kind of like a standard Bond villain, But Willem
kind of what they were going for. I mean, pretty much XXX is like Vin Diesel's version of James Bond.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. It definitely is. So, and then you got Willem Dafoe, who was, I don't think I have to put up a picture of Willem Dafoe. We all know who he is. So let me get, there we go. So I liked all the stuff of them getting to the White House, like them just smashing through buildings and people and cars and tanks and them getting on top of the tank and taking it over. And I liked all the fighting at the White House. Olympus Has Fallen. That's one of them. And then the other one was a Channing Tatum. Something Down. Like not Black Hawk Down, Something Down, White House Down was his. And those were about terrorists taking over the White House. So I like those type of movies where the White House is taken over. Shit, Superman 2, they even did it. Zod and his people took over the White House.
Yeah.
But, so I liked all that. I liked the fighting in there. Yeah. Unfortunately, and I haven't seen these in a while, you kind of knew that Willem Dafoe was the villain.
Yeah.
It was kind of obvious that he was.
I mean, pretty much Willem Dafoe plays a villain in a lot of movies. I mean, he does like, being like a hero in some movies, but Most of the movies you've seen, like he was a villain in Spider-Man. He was a villain in XXX. He was a villain.
Don't forget Speed 2, Cruise Control.
I've never seen Speed 2, so I can't comment
Oh,
on that
you're a
one.
better person for it. Oh my God, it's a bad movie. Keanu Reeves, he proved when he did not sign on for that film that he's a smart man. We all thought that because of Bill and Ted and all that stuff, that he's like a dumb guy, like a surfer guy. No, I think on that day that he did not sign on the dotted line for Speed 2, he proved he was a smart man. Or he has very good agents and managers and stuff. So they saw the handwriting on the wall with that one. But yeah, that was kind of obvious. I like the train stuff. You know, with the president in it. I liked all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else was there?
The car that goes up to 225 miles per
That
hour.
was with the with the train. That was good.
Yeah, I thought that was very creative. Hold on, let me go.
Do you like or don't like? Now, I don't mind this because I think a lot of this stuff is true, but we can't do it the other way around. Do you mind in movies where Black characters criticize or make fun of white characters?
I mean, it's pretty obvious they do it all the time. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, as long as, they're not, coming out and saying like, oh, everyone that's white is evil. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, because like one of the last things is when they asked what Darius wants, I think like one of the three things is, and the last thing I think he says is, and to stop shooting Black people. So there seemed to be
when he was meeting up with the girl, yeah, he was pretending to be a reverend, and they said,
right. Yeah,
because the guy was like, hey, we're having a rally up here, Reverend, please tell me, what would you do to make some of your African American people come to this gathering? Like, he's trying so hard not to say Black people. And he goes, well, you can maybe respect us and stop shooting us all the time. Or you can have a picnic. Make sure it's fried.
Yeah. I thought that scene was funny because that guy was such he's such a white guilt person. He's just like, you know, look, oh, I'm white and have money, so I'm going to go help this poor Black community that, you know, and so, you know, and I think that basically when white people say African American, I immediately think of that they're racist. I immediately think that they're trying, you know, it's very simple. If I'm a white guy, you're a Black guy. It's that simple. I've never had a Black person ever sit there and say, don't use Black person, use African American. I don't even think they like it. So it's
even I'm friends with a black man. He even tells me, he goes, and he'll even tell me, oh, I know, amazing, right? But he'll tell me, he's like, dude, I don't care. You can use the word black. Saying a Black man is not racist. Now, if you go and say that there's an N-word, hey, that's racist. Or, hey, look at that N-word over there. That's racist.
I don't know. Exhibit might disagree with you. Exhibit might disagree with you. Look at him. He's got
I mean, he looks very angry.
No, wait, I'm using the wrong fingers.
But hey,
I can't do. Wait, it's this with this. It's got to be.
I think he's like doing two peace signs.
Or it could mean west.
Yo.
Like west side to south side. Yeah, something like that. So, you know. But yeah, no, I don't really mind it because like one of the trailers, I forget which movie it is Guess Who, which is that Bernie Mac, Ashton Kutcher film, which is the remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And they've switched it. So instead of a Black man going to a white family for dinner, it's the white guy going to the Black family. And Ashton Kutcher standing in the kitchen and a woman comes in, a black woman, because she's with a black family, and she looks at Ashton Kutcher and goes, "Oh, are we getting audited?" And I think that's funny because that's maybe how black people see white people, that like we're auditors, we're boring, we're dull. You know, there's nothing really interesting. You know, it's just, you know, because that's the first thing that comes to her mind is, are we getting audited? Um, so I thought that was, I've never seen the movie. I think that's funny in the trailer. So, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed XXX State of the Union. I didn't think it was as good as part one. I like the grandness of part one. I like kind of the James Bond feeling with it. I like the women that are all in it. I like, you know, I like that better than State of the Union, but I could watch it in a marathon.
Here's my question to you. How do you feel about them making the president quote Tupac?
I think that white people have stolen a lot from black people, especially music
Well,
and stuff.
I guess
but that's funny
because,
yeah, Ice-T does the quote and he
Yeah.
says it's from Tupac, and then the president uses it, and Ice Cube is like, "What?
the girl
Did he just
the girl
steal that from me?"
the girl that was that gave him the car. She's like, did the president just quote Tupac?
Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah, you stole
I was
that from
like,
me."
yep.
Which is funny is, yes, he might have stolen it from you, but then you stole it from Tupac.
There you go.
So, but I think it's funnier because it's a white guy doing it from something that a black person gave than if, let's say, if it was just two white people and the guy did a quote for the Beatles. And then up on stage, he does the quote for the Beatles. And the guy goes, "Did he just steal that line from me?" That wouldn't be funny. But it's funny seeing the white president of the United States, and Ice Cube's character, Darius, saves his life. And then he's doing the Tupac quote. I think I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty hilarious. I laughed at
that. Anything else? Should we move on to part 3?
I think we should move on to part 3. I think the second one is good. I liked it a little bit more than the first one, but I still like both of them. I still think they're great to watch. So definitely watch both. So.
I agree. We're switched, but I agree on both of those. So I think we should begin this with the poster for XXX: The Return of Xander Cage.
Okay.
There's the poster. So,
You stole my joke, man. You stole it.
Hey, the president stole something from Tupac, so I can steal your joke.
Oh man.
And this is easier to see too. I thought that this was very funny. That's why I didn't comment on it. So, but you really should. You should design movie posters. I think that this looks great.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the story of why I did this, because when you were going, okay, so when you were going to eventually hold up yours, I was going to say, did you get it on Blu-ray? I was going to be like, yeah, I got it on Blu-ray, and hold up this. So the story is, I ordered both the double feature of XXX and XXX State of the Union with the Blu-ray of Return of Xander Cage. Well, this showed up. This did not. So, and I finally found out a solution. USPS damaged it because they sent me a letter with the what do you call it, the label with my address on it, saying, "Hey, we apologize, but your item was so damaged that we couldn't ship it the rest of the way, so we sent you this little piece of cardboard."
Oh wow! So how did you end up watching it?
So I ended up renting it from you. So the good news is the guy that I bought it from, I got to give him a shout out. He was, real nice about it. before I even got the letter, I said, hey, it was supposed to be here on the 11th. It hasn't shown up. I said, hey, I still want the movie. I just, can you maybe contact them, see if maybe did they lose it? Is there a mistake made? And he was so nice. He said, hey, hopefully your movie shows up, but I'm going to go ahead and issue a refund. So I have been refunded for the movie. So, I mean, if you guys, I'm going to give him a shout out. Go to the eBay seller 8080s. That's the word 80. The number it's the word 80, and then it's 80s at the end. So 8080s. So, and it's like here's a picture of his face. So go show him some love. He was great. He was very responsive, and he took care of it, even though it wasn't his fault. So
that was nice of him. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, it's a good shout out. So yeah.
So now I have my awesome, lovely copy.
But it's there. So
it's there.
No, that's good. I mean, so we both had our things, our two shout outs. So that's good. So, well, this is the actual. So here's the actual poster for it here, which I really like. I like this poster.
Yeah.
So, and then what I really like about this is the film that really reminds me of Mission Impossible, because he assembles the team. We even have Donnie Yen, who was in like John Wick 4. And he's like in, I don't know if you call it IP Man or Imp Man, but he does all of those. If you look him up on like, IMDb or Wikipedia, this guy has like a list like this long of movies that he's been in.
He's pretty much the next Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee at this point. He's becoming a martial art legend.
Yeah, I really like him a lot.
Yeah, when I see him and the other one that's in there, it's Tony Jaa, I think his name is. He's another.
Oh yeah. There's.
He's in this movie as well. He's the one with the blonde hair.
So casting, well, I think I could just go up here and maybe see him here. Okay, yeah. So Donnie Yen, yeah, Tony Jaa, yeah. Yeah, he does those. God, I don't know how to pronounce these. The ONG-BAK Onbach films. But he does everything too. He's like an actor, a stuntman, a choreographer, a director. He's done a ton of stuff too.
Yeah.
So, but I found one with Donnie Yen, but once again, it was saying I can't put it up here because the file is like wrong. But I also have, so I got this one here of Ruby Rose. I dig Ruby Rose, and she is gay. That's not me outing anybody. It's all over Wikipedia. And she, to me, is like lipstick lesbian hot. I dig her. I own a few of her movies because she's in them. Of course, she's also in Resident Evil, the final chapter. I really dig her. I think that she is quite hot. And sadly, she played Batwoman in that show that she quit. But I dig her. I like her. So
yeah, she's a great actor. I have no problem with her. I don't care if you're gay. I mean, you do you. I have no problem with that. I see if you're talented, and clearly she is, because every time you see her on screen, you're like, yeah, something's gonna go down.
Yeah,
especially when she was like the sniper. I thought she did. She's like, come on, Xander. Let me in on the action here. Let me shoot him.
Yeah, she has been made. She was in Around the Block. Oh, I don't know. This with Christina Ricci. I don't know that one. But yeah, Resident Evil, John Wick Chapter 2. She's in Pitch Perfect 3. The Meg with Jason Statham. She's in that. So she's mostly done action movies. But then I was looking at like her career and stuff, and man, has she, I mean, I don't want to, well, it's just on modeling, but it's like suffering from depression and
I'm just going off of what Wikipedia says.
Yeah, it's like depression, attempted suicide, molestation. It's like, my God, she has been through a ton, and she's only 36. And she's saying that a lot of this stuff happened when she was like 12. So
that's
it's
when,
just like,
and that's also when she came out as husband. So maybe a lot of this, maybe some of this happened when she decided to come out. Maybe
12 years old is when is when she said that she came out. But like on Batwoman is gay. Batwoman, it's a gay character in the comics, I believe, and she played the character gay. She was very open about that. And but she quit. She wouldn't sign up for season 2 because, if what I'm reading is correct, is she almost died a few times while making the show because the show was so unsafe that she left. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore, because they just weren't like doing the safety protocols. And so for season 2, they brought in somebody else, a completely different actress, not gender swap, but a race swapped and all that type of stuff. So I do have a curiosity in the show because I've heard it's really awful, but I do have an interest because at least she's in the first season. But I have always liked her, and so I like to. I think that I don't think that she's really had her due yet. I like to work.
Another reason, apparently in July of 21, she said she was allergic to latex, which is another reason for leaving Batwoman. So she's allergic to the latex that they use, I guess, for the suit.
Oh.
So that's another reason that she did. Again, this is all on Wikipedia. Fact check Wikipedia, guys. Don't fact check.
Yeah, we're not giving out any information that's unknown, so it's all right there. So, so knowing at the end of part 2, it looked like, okay, now we need somebody who's bigger, badder, and even crazier than the last 2. I guess at some point they either paid Vin Diesel enough money, or maybe he had a couple bombs. And let's see here. That
he didn't have this great artwork like this.
No, well, come on, man. I mean, that right there really should be. Come on. That really should be the cover of the Blu-ray.
It's gonna be, man.
I mean, he even has muscles. Muscles.
Vin Diesel looks so great as a stick figure, doesn't he?
He does. I knew who that was instantly when I saw it. I think it looks great.
The Vin Diesel on the bottom definitely didn't give it away.
No, not at all. He really didn't have any. Like, why would he come back? Because he already had the Riddick movies, because he did Riddick in 2013. He had Guardians of the Galaxy, so he was making a shitload of money on that. The Last Witch Hunter did bomb. I still don't know what this Billy Lynn thing is. It's a war drama directed by Ang Lee. Okay. Based on the 2012 novel of the same name. The film star, he is one of Steve Martin, Chris Tucker, Kirsten Stewart. Wow. Okay. Maybe this film is worth checking out. But for him to come, so yes, we didn't really have any bombs. I don't think Last Witch Hunter did very good. I thought it was okay. But I guess somebody paid him enough money, or maybe he just wanted to do it. And so he came back.
Or maybe he was like, hey, I need some more publicity for the Fast and Furious movies or something. He's like, hey, let's make a movie that's actually going to make a whole crap ton of money. I don't know. Did it do well or not? I don't know.
Its budget was $85 million. It made $346.1 million.
Okay, so it made that plus. So maybe he was like, "Hey, I really need to get," because I think after Fast 5, it kind of went downhill a little bit.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Because then it goes Fast 6 is next. I'm going to skip the short films. Fast 6, Riddick,
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Fast 7, Last Witch Hunter, which I did not do very well. Yeah, then that war movie, and then Return.
No, it made its money back. The Last Witch Hunter. It was like budget was $71.90 million. It made $146.9 million. So they broke even at that point.
Yeah, it says here a sequel is in development. Yeah. Well, this was done okay, I guess. All right, so maybe he's planning on doing another one.
So I guess that Billy Lynn long halftime walk. That's that bomb. Its budget was $40 million and it only made $30 million.
Yeah, that I would expect not to make a lot of money because of the type of film that it is.
Yeah. Maybe he's like, hey, I need something that's gonna, boost my approval back up again out.
Yeah, because you kind of do. It's an Ang Lee film, and you do Ang Lee's to say that you made an Ang Lee movie. It's more about status, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But so what did you think about? Because they talk about all the time in part 2, he's dead. Oh, I miss the old, XXX. They mention that a lot. And then in part 3, they do mention that he faked his death. Yeah. And so that's why I'm wondering what the deal is with the short. Did he approve of it? Was it okay? Was he against it? But because he obviously didn't say wipe it, just get rid of it, just say that I never died, that the short doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, nobody really knows. I mean, I think, possibly like maybe this was right around the time when his ego was going up and he didn't want to do it. And then I think he seen the second one and he was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should have done the second one. So, you know what? Make it that I faked that my character faked his death and go from there, and so I can come back. Make a way for me to come back in the third movie.
Get the girl.
Yeah, because it's here's the start from the beginning. There we go. So I think this is the best looking out of all the movies. This is J.D. Caruso. To me, this is very Mission Impossible. It's got a sci-fi element to it. He's working with a team. He assembles the team. There's our villain right there, Tony Collette. And then the seeing. All right. So, what are your thoughts on Samuel L. Jackson faking his death for the second time?
The first time, the William Dafoe's character faked his death, made it look like he died. So he didn't fake his death the first time.
Okay. We think he's dead for the second time.
We just think he's dead, but the whole, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe at that point they were filming. I think at that point they were filming Endgame and the Avengers movie, the two part. So maybe hold on. Like Avengers Infinity War and all that stuff, maybe around that time? Or no? No. Okay. Well, maybe they were shooting and he was shooting his scenes for
You're saying because he's gone, because he faked his death because he was shooting something else?
Probably. Because it just makes sense because he's only in it at the very beginning and then he's at the very end of the movie. like he doesn't have a lot of screen time. So I'm assuming he's either shooting something else at the time that they only had a little bit of time for him, so they just made him supposedly die at the beginning, and then he faked his death at the end, and then came back and all that. That's what I'm assuming.
But it's like, but they're doing it twice. It's not like this is like a 10-part series that in part 2 is his death is faked, and then in part 7 his death is faked. This is literally one after another. So you would almost think that Vin Diesel or somebody would go, the character would go, oh, again? Like, oh, he died again? So it's like I think that they should have at least acknowledged it, that this had happened before.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, it kind of feels to me now. you say this feels more like Mission Impossible. To me, this movie actually feels more like The Expendables. With the whole, gathering the team up together to fight like basically the bad guys and all that. So I mean, this out of all 3 movies, this feels the least like XXX. I still enjoyed it, but if I have to, I'd have to put the first 2 over this. I mean, I like that they brought Vin Diesel back. I'm glad they had other XXXs, I guess. Gave him more of a team. And if they make a new one, if that ever happens, they make 4, they have somewhere to go with this now.
Well, and it's something I didn't mention when we were talking about State of the Union is, at least with Darius, we got a little bit of background. We find out like his mom died and his dad was, kind of taking care of him. And then he went out onto the street and started with graffiti and ended up in the Navy, became like a Navy SEAL. So he lost his mom. He started acting out. But once again, with Xander, we get nothing. There's no backstory to this guy at all. So I would have thought at least with the third one, we would have had something.
Something to make you care about the character. Because I mean, if you go just based on the character, Xander's kind of a D-bag. He's basically all he is. He's just a big D-bag that just wants to cause chaos and just go absolute crazy. Now, this one feels like maybe he's had some experience now. Like, it feels like he's like, I don't know, like, maybe if they would have, like, had him say, hey, I trained with a general of this army for like a couple of years, so I know some military stuff now, kind of would make a little more sense in this movie. Like, how he's able to, pull off the stuff he does.
Right. Well, like in the last Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning, there is a lot at the beginning of praising Ethan Hunt. Like, Ethan Hunt is the only one who can do this. Ethan Hunt is the one. We can't survive without Ethan Hunt. Thank you, Ethan Hunt. Everything is Ethan Hunt. But that's fine. We're on movie 8. So you would think if this guy has done this 7 times or more, we're only seeing the 7 times. Okay, probably by movie 8, you'd be like, yes, we need Ethan Hunt, or this mission is not going to happen. This is movie 3, and he's only in one other movie. So it's almost like there's only one man who could do this, and that's Xander Cage. And it's like, is he? Because if we go off the short, he faked his death, was living whatever life, and then was kind of pulled back in because he heard that Gibbons was killed, which then he should make the comment again. And then Gibbons should even say at the end, like, well, didn't you fake your death? There should be, I know that it's brought up, but it's like, I don't think they play enough off of that. And yeah, maybe, yeah, that part 2, the whole Samuel L. Jackson thing being put into that jail on that, and and the rest of the team is in there too, part of the plot and all that. But for this one, yeah, maybe Samuel L. Jackson was just doing something else.
Again, with him apparently dying in the second movie, kind of made sense, because they're like, hey, let's give him a funeral. Let's make him everyone think he's dead. So when because their plan is to say he faked his death just so that he can assassinate the president, the vice president, and all that. So the Secretary of State could just ease into the president with no problem. So that kind of made sense. But this time it was like, why are you here? It's kind of like they just brought him in just to be there. I mean, I guess for continuity, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, maybe he was doing something else. Let's see. Oh, come on. Let's see. What else was he doing then? Okay, so filmography. We got to go back to here. Okay, so around part 3. Man, has he been in a lot of movies? Part 3. Okay.
In Kong Skull Island, The Hitman's Bodyguard, and Unicorn Store.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I don't know what. Looks like Brie Larson. Well, that is Brie Larson, who we already worked with Captain Marvel. So we knew her. That's probably why he's in that. Well, you have before that. So 2016, he's in the movie Cell, which is a Stephen King film. Then The Legend of Tarzan. I Am Not Your Negro. Mrs. Something Home
That's
for
the name of the movie, guys. Relax.
Children.
Relax.
That is
That's
the name of the movie.
Miss
Eating
Peregrine's
You Alive.
I don't know.
So not seeing anything big enough for him to really be, unless it was just Skull. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe I thought maybe he was shooting for Glass. He kind of had the Mr. Glass look to him at the beginning. You know what I mean?
That I think was, when was it?
But that was 2019 is when that came out. So I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, so that'd be later. Yeah, maybe it's Kong Skull Island that he was doing. It's like, yeah, I could come back for like 2 days worth of work.
Yeah.
And then, I could do that.
I can do a couple scenes, but that's all I can really do. So fake killing me off, and then bring me. Then I'll come back at the end and say so I can do the 4th movie or whatever.
And then I'm gonna play. These are all the trailers. So, what do you think about Ice Cube coming back? Darius coming back? Did you like that? I'm
glad they didn't just erase State of the Union, because they could have easily have done that. Because I at first I thought that they weren't going to bring him back at all. They didn't bring him back to like the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Oh,
and I was like, are they just going to just do away with them? Like make it that the second movie didn't happen? But I'm glad they brought him back at the very end there, at least. So he's like, hey, I heard the 9 or something was pushed or something like that. I guess that's like their emergency thing.
Oh yeah, dial 9.
Yeah.
That he was waiting for somebody to press 9, and then that's what 9 is. I guess is him showing up. So yeah, I wish that he was in the film more.
you do realize you're playing the trailer for the first movie, right?
Yeah, this has all of them.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just figured I found one with all three, so I figured while we talk, we could just kind of let it go. But yeah, I wanted him in it more, but I'm glad that they did bring him back. I like the continuity of him being there.
With this, if they do make a fourth movie, they can have Xander and Darius in there and Nick and Gibbons back in there, so we can actually have a third movie, because they kind of set it up that that they're now kind of like enemies of the state at this point. They're no longer you know the good guys anymore. They're kind of like, okay, they're traitors at this point, so they have to kind of fend for themselves now. So I kind of like that. So hopefully they go in that direction when if they ever decide to make the fourth movie. Hopefully they do someday.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, and I think it's kind of a bummer because I like the opening with Gibbons, and he's got the like Hispanic guy who plays soccer or football, depending on where you are, and he uses his feet, uses like his foot. I don't know what he takes. He throws it up in the air and he kicks it, and it knocks the guy out.
I think it's the bowl or whatever, the bowl that he was eating off. I think he picked
that
up.
It was something big enough that he could kick it, and then it hits the guy in the head who's trying to rob where they're at. And then, of course, it ends up being a test. But I like that. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool if we could get him in there to use his feet a lot. And then, of course, a satellite falls on him. So I guess he's dead. So that's the big thing in the third movie are satellites. Yeah, dead.
Oh,
yeah.
Dead. We don't know if he's actually dead. Wait a minute. Actually, no. Wait a minute. Didn't he? Wasn't he at the very end there? When he was when Samuel L. Jackson was talking to the. Hold on. Let me pop up the what you call it.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, he was at the very end there. So he's It says in Brazil, a satellite has fallen out of orbit and crashed the NSA agent Augustus Gibbons, who is attempting to recruit footballer Namir for the XXX program, seemingly killing them both. At the very end, it says the team attends Gibbons' funeral as Xander is approached by Gibbons himself, who faked his death, is now rebuilding the program on his own, starting with Namir as the newest recruit. Gibbons compliments Xander, who decides to continue in service. So the one from the guy at the very end there was at the very end. He goes Xander, and he like walked off.
Oh,
like, kind of like,
him.
Hey,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I didn't even realize
that didn't die. Him, so he didn't die. So I didn't realize it either. So I was like, wait a minute. Let me look at it. Sure.
I mean, granted, they're at a funeral and everything, but I mean, maybe give us a hint that that's the guy, because it looks like he died. So maybe have him kick something, and then like Xander grabs it, and he's like Xander, and we go, oh, that's the guy from the beginning.
Yeah,
because there's so many characters in this that I had no idea that was even him.
It was overwhelming because you're like, wait, who's this guy again? Who's this person? And then even at one point when you have Donnie Yen and Tony Jaa in the movie, it's kind of like, sure, couldn't you have had like one in there and then have like Tony Jaa and another one, like kind of like space them out a little bit? I think they were trying to like throw like a whole bunch of characters into one giant movie at this point, because they're like, hey, this may be the very last XXX movie ever, so let's jam pack it as much as possible so we can actually, make it good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think that they were going for more of a Mission Impossible type of thing, is that you have the whole group of characters, or even John Wick, because you got a lot of the Asian actors in there.
Yeah.
You know, where Mission Impossible doesn't, but John Wick does. So, you know, anything else on part 3?
I think we pretty much touched it. What did you say? Did you like this one? Did you not like this one?
Oh, it's my second favorite one. Here's what I have. I have the Blu-ray of it. So I bought this one
got
originally.
Super rare.
Man, I like your cover a lot better.
I know. So do I. I might see if I can get this signed by Vin Diesel himself.
That would be funny. You tell him the story of what happened, and he likes your story so much that he signs it.
I want you to sign my little index card.
Mr. Diesel, can you please sign this for me, please? I'm a huge fan of Return of Xander Cage. And then you just hand him that.
He's going to be like, what the frick is this? Like, I'll tell you the story.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
It does look like him. I got to admit, it does look like him.
Oh,
so.
I mean, he even got the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Eyebrows
and I would say Exhibit agrees with you. He does agree with you that it looks like him. So
even
he's very
Exhibit's
happy
like,
about
hey,
that.
like that's some dope artwork there.
Yeah. So all right. Well, okay. So I think we kind of hit on everything. And I think well let's do 1, 3, 2. What are yours?
Is that your ranking?
Yeah.
I think I'll have to go well, I didn't really think about this. So I'm gonna have to go 2, 1, then 3. I like 3 a lot, but it really kind of felt like a different movie. So at least State of the Union felt like a XXX movie. It felt like, okay, we have a different person and a different agent at this point. The third one just kind of felt like they were just trying to jam everything into one movie. And I feel if they would have done like separate movie, like maybe like a part 1 or part 2, maybe it might have been a little bit better. Like, but I think I would go like number 1 would be number 2, number 2 would be number 1, number 3. That.
Okay.
But I enjoyed all 3 of them. So.
The one thing that I did like with part 3 is the very beginning, where we see Xander doing all the he has to get something, and that the cops are chasing him and people are chasing him, and he's doing all the different stunts. And then when he puts it in where it needs to go, it's so the whole kind of like village or town could play soccer. They could watch like soccer or football. I thought that was funny. I like that. Yeah. And I mean, because it wasn't serious. It was fun.
Him riding skis down there, I was kind of like, I mean, it kind of felt a little bit like the first in the first movie where he was just doing it for views. Kind of felt like he was doing all that for, just to get entertain people. Even though
and that's one of the problems that I think with this character is we have no backstory and everything he does is perfect.
Yeah.
Like nobody, I don't think no matter how extreme sporty you are, you're not going to survive that stuff. It's just not going to happen.
Up at some point, even if they would have just had him fall off the skateboard just to jump back up and get back on the skateboard and ride down the hill, would have made more.
It's probably never going to happen. So
no. I mean, it's Xander Cage. Xander Cage cannot mess up. Xander Cage is perfect, John.
Yes, he is.
Get with the program.
Yeah, he's a male version of a Mary Sue in a way. So he's the Ray of these movies. So kind of in a way. So let's give a ranking to each movie. So what, out of 1 out of 5, what do you give the first movie?
I give it a 4 or a 3 point. I'd say a 3.5.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 4. And then what do you think for the second movie? 1 out of 5.
I would give it a 4. Just a plain.
Okay. I would give this a 3. Yep. And then for the third movie, what do you think?
I'll give it a 3.
I am back to, I'm almost at 4. I'm at like a 3.5. It's closer to a 4 than a 3. But it's just got some of those things that I don't know. I think Donnie Yen probably would boost it. Yeah, I'm going to say a 4 on this one because of Donnie Yen. Just for him alone, I would say that this gets a 4. So a movie itself, 3.5. Donnie Yen, 4.
Here's my thing: if Donnie Yen was the XXX in this movie, like the lead XXX.
Oh,
I think that would have elevated them. I think that would have made this movie a little bit better. But then have Xander Cage and Darius come back in as like support. I can't give them cameos. I think that would have been better. Because if you, I mean, like I said, from the first movie of Vin Diesel, the second movie is Ice Cube. They can't, and at the very end of the second movie, they hinted, "Hey, we're gonna have the next XXX is gonna be bigger and badder and stronger and faster and all that." If they would have made Donnie Yen or the girl, like maybe make them like a team or something, I think that would have been. I think that would have elevated, and then had
Donnie Yen would be interesting.
Yeah, I have Vin Diesel in it, but have him like they get into trouble and he comes and saves him. Like him and Darius come in and save him. Like that may have been. I thought that would have been.
That would be interesting. Yeah. I like that idea because that would make sense to what they're saying. Because otherwise, you would have to go really extreme in the opposite direction, where it would, where they're saying the person has to be bigger, badder, more crazy. I don't. Maybe that person would. I don't know. With Donnie Yen, it seems more like an art form, but he has all of those elements. He is crazier. He is more powerful. He is,
you see when he does martial arts, I mean, he's kind of almost like Bruce Lee, you kind of have, he's so fast. I mean, I think if you really wanted to see what he's doing, you may have to slow him down, kind of like how they had to do with Bruce Lee. He was so fast, you had to slow him down a lot. So I think they would have been better off if they would have just made Donnie Yen the new XXX.
And do you know who agrees with us? Do you know who agrees with you? Exhibit. Exhibit agrees with you.
See?
I'm going to say that this video is featuring Exhibit, so it's he agrees with what you're saying.
You need to fix the thumbnail. It says special guest
Exhibit. With like a little extra, with like a little asterisk on it. Well, it has an asterisk. It's not him actually here. It's a picture. It's got a little asterisk there. Just you got to read down below.
We need to put him on the side of our videos from now on. Like, Exhibit, what do you think? Man, I don't know. I don't like this.
Yeah, just have like the fake mouth on him that moves up and down.
There you go. There you go.
I like that. So okay, all righty. So anything else to say, or should we wrap it up?
I think we should wrap it up, man. I think my final words, I will say, watch all 3 movies, turn your brain off and enjoy. Don't try to pick it apart. Don't be like Mr. Ward over here and try to figure everything out. Shots fired.
You know who does not agree with you? Exhibit. He does not agree with you. Look how mad he looks from you talking smack about me.
Oh man.
Exhibit disagrees with you. It's
I'm
going to be
sure
my
he
thing
does.
from now on. Exhibit's going to be in all of our videos now.
Oh man. So instead of Tom Cruise, it's going to be Exhibit from now on.
Yes. Yeah, I think Exhibit needs to be in our videos. So, well, it's funny that you say that because Philip did an AI thing of Tom Cruise. So every once in a while when we're doing this stuff, well, you probably saw it every once in a while on the Mondays show, on that horror movie Monday, Tom Cruise will pop up into the screen, and then Philip will like disappear behind him and do his voice. Be like, John, I'm very unhappy. So Tom Cruise joins us every once in a while on those videos. So Horror Movie Monday over on OGP. So over on
shout out to Horror Movie Monday OGP.
Yep. Hey, we got one tomorrow night. So he's on vacation, but he's still going to do it. That's how dedicated he is to it. So, all right. Well, let's get out of here. So I got food to go eat. So you probably have dinner. I have lunch.
Maybe.
So maybe. All right, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching, especially if you've stayed through the whole thing. I think this is one of our shorter ones. It's not 3 hours or longer. So since my butt is starting to hurt too, sitting on this chair, which is supposed to be a gaming chair. How are people sitting in this? And it's this uncomfortable. I have to put a pillow under me. But I don't even know what I have no idea. Yes. Of course, maybe I just have fat in my butt. There's no muscle in there. But do we know what we're doing next month? Do we have an idea that we can kind of hint to?
We talked about some things, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. So we have an idea, but we're not 100% on it. So
yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.
Take it easy, guys.